Hello and welcome. Let's begin with our virtual housekeeping. Mute your mic when you're not speaking. Please have your video turned on at all times. If you want to be anonymous and keep your video off, you're more than welcome to do so. Please use your headset if possible, especially if you're in a crowded and noisy area. To ask a question, use raise hand button. Usually you will find this button on your Zoom control bar. Alternatively, you can use the chat box and ask your question as well. For high resolution of this video stream on Zoom, use the switch to shared content button on top left of your screen. With the experience that we had with Zoom, the legibility of text presented in the presentation is much clearer on a screen size of 12 inch or above. So we will appreciate to use, if you use the 12 inch or above screen size for a legible text which you would be able to read through. Hello and welcome to you all. My name is Vishal and we are in our cohort number 3 today, which is for the APMP, that is Association for Proposal Management Professionals. People from the bid industry, bid professionals, sales professionals and business development professionals do benefit a lot from this association. This one of the association, one of its kind in the association, which has certifications as well for this industry, for the industry of bid and proposal. So if you know somebody who is in the industry of bid and proposal, maybe whatever knowledge area, for example, they might be bidding for insurances, they might be bidding for buildings, construction, they might be bidding for systems, your system integrators, they might be even bidding for projects which are for software. So any domain that you might want to pursue your bid and proposal management, that is the APMP book of knowledge, very much is applicable to the concept of it, applicable despite of your knowledge, your industry domain. So welcome to you all. We are at our session number 5 today, and we would be very quickly going through our these knowledge areas that we are doing, and there will be a quiz as well today. So we are in the bid professional at the moment. We are at the knowledge area, which is understand business development. This is the one that we are studying at the moment, and overall there are 7 knowledge domains: understanding build development, focus on the customer, lead your team, manage processes, use tools and systems, create deliverables, train your staff. So these are not logically kept over there, but if you see to some extent, when you start establishing a process or an organization, you need to understand, you need to define what your organization would be doing, what your organization would be catering to, what would be the industry they would be catering to, or what pain areas or hot buttons of the client which they would be taking care of, and of course we would be providing solutions, providing systems, or and something like that, or softwares, or maybe construction as far as a building is concerned, and in healthcare perhaps your medicines for that matter. So that's your business development process, and it is the APMP book of knowledge do emphasizes on the need of having a business development process which is very which should be very embedded into the system and embedded into the other processes of an organization, for the simple reason this is one of the processes wherein you keep getting you keep developing the organization, perhaps your solutions that you have, or perhaps you realign yourself with the customer's requirement, and so on and so forth. The second knowledge area is focus on customer, then lead your team, manage processes, use tool and systems, create deliverables, and of course the last one is the train your staff. We will come to all these things. For the benefit of audience who have, what we do is this is a knowledge area, and we would be finishing this introduction to the business development life cycle in this session. We have already gone through, this is our 5th session today. We have already finished, we will just skim through, finish this session today. We will be summarizing, and then we will be having a quiz at the end of the session. So what are we trying to do now is, we are trying to just refresh our knowledge, revisit what we have learned so far, and then see some common pitfalls. Especially you will get these questions when you're applying, or when you're doing a bid and proposal APMP exam, especially a foundation or capture management exam. There are 4 or 5 exams out there to have yourself certified for the whole business, and so on and so forth. So we will be looking at all these terms today. So as we have discussed, that let's say there is an organization who is setting itself up for the first time, and if they are setting themselves up for the first time, they don't know in the business development life cycle, they don't know at what position they are. So that's an unknown position for the organization. Then you move into a known position, then you go into improved position. By the time you're coming into an improved position, you already have relationship build up with the customers. People know about you, people know about your solutions, and then you come to the favored position, wherein you have been providing solutions or systems to your end users who have been giving you repeat orders, since you have been taking care of their core issues, the hot buttons as they call it, and that is the cycle overall. If it business development cycle, that is how they develop themselves. The process has to take yourself, not only if you're setting up a new business, perhaps let's say you are setting up a business who is already established, which is at the favored position, and you bring in a new product or new service. You start from an unknown position and you start developing yourself, so on. So that's how it is. These are some definitions that we saw last time around. And APMP, the book of knowledge, it says it's a very disciplined approach for the business development, wherein and it's a very foundation of every organization, and it's a foundation process as well, wherein there are tools and best practices, which is usually a good starting point, and we will be discussing this as we go forward in our journey of APMP book of knowledge. Then comes the business development life cycle. So you have an opportunity, you do a market identification of yourself, then you do an account planning. We will see that as well. What does it mean? Then you do an opportunity assessment. Then you do, give me just one moment, let me pull out my laser. Then you do an opportunity planning. Then you do the proposal planning, and you do the proposal development as well. And then you start negotiating. You submit here, and then you start negotiating. So it's quite an understanding, and it's quite a revelation for a couple of bid professionals who have been in the bid industry for very long as well, that doing a bid or choosing to be in a bid starts very early. It starts from the market identification, then your account planning, and then your assessment. So it's not when a tender has been floated by an organization, be it a private or be it a government organization, before they even float these tenders out, there has a lot of legwork that has been done, either by within the organization, some of the within the organization, some of the employees of the organization themselves who are putting up a bid forward who is sending in a request for proposal to you, or some of these key industry specialists might have helped them out to bring up a bid. For at times in the industry, it is also called front-end development as well. So they do a complete bid analysis, they do a complete design for you, and they give you the, especially in the construction industry, they give you the BOQ, and they give you what the client is looking for, and the client then on the behalf, on their own side, they give out a tender. Whereas in a software development life cycle, when it is happening, it's more like a business to business transaction. There more or less the same decision things go on, and the same cycle is there, but it might be comparatively easy. But the key point that we are trying to drive over here is that the bid to participate in a bid, decision to participate in a bid starts way before even when the RFP actually hit the market on a listing. Perhaps there are many websites out there which list the bid on their website. So that's where that is what is the decision point. That is what this slide is trying to convey, and it also emphasizes on the decision gates that since the organization, they have limited resources going forward, more and more limited resources are there, and they are trying to glean as much information and as much work as they can from their resources. It is more important that the organization and the key decision makers within the organization, they focus their market identification, do their account planning, and do their opportunity assessment very carefully, so that they can provide a very clear goal to the internal processes, and that is where the whole business development life cycle comes into picture. So each phase, these are phases actually. So from each phase, when you're going into next phase, there would be a decision gates, and these decision gates are more or less, for example, when we come into the proposal planning, opportunity planning, before this, we might want to go for a bid no bid decision. Are we bidding for it? Okay, it might even start from here itself, market identification as well. So are we bidding for this industry? Let's say for your organization till today, they were only manufacturing soap, the hard soap, the cake soap. Now they want to start venturing into detergent powder. Now more or less they have the same industries, they are catering to the same household market, but they still need to have that, it still needs to run through the decision gates within the whole cycle of their decision, that should we venture into these kind of opportunities. So that's what it is. We will be discussing this more in coming slides. So and this is one of the 4 quadrants that we saw. Your market, and from this is usually where an organization starts themselves, and they want to go into the new phase, which is the quadrant number 4, where they have established themselves. They are in a very good position to negotiate with the customer, with the end user, and they are investing their money into research and development. So if you see your organization has set up a certain person aside who is only looking after what is the market trends, who is only giving those information back to the management or to anyone in the chain of the command of the organization, you can feel that actually your company is, or your organization is actually moving into the preferred position already. So these are the 8 dimensions, and we can see we gave an example here. For example, if there is an organization who is actually venturing only into spices, now they want to also venture into dry fruits. Okay, so how they would be doing it, and so on and so forth. So that is what we discussed the last time around, and just for an illustration over here, when you are in sector number 1, sector 1 and 2, you will more or less have the same characteristics. Okay, but pursuit indication would be moderate. You're still learning, and you're establishing market presence. So this way you're going into expansion. You're thinking about only market expansion. This way you are doing product and services expansion. So the more you move away from this and you come into quadrant number 4, wherein you are bringing up new products or services and you're capturing new customers as well, but the pursuit indication would be very weak at that time, and you will be creating a detailed plan and you will be committing resources to it. So there are a lot of your internal team, your bid team needs to be very strong at that time. You cannot always use your boilerplate replies to your RFPs, request to proposal. You need to change them as per the requirement of the client or the end user. So account planning and positioning is another key area wherein you plan that which account or which, when I say account, it does not mean the financial account. What it means is, let's say a client is one of the account, you can define that as well as account, or you can define a market segment as an account as well. Let's say railways is one account, so or infrastructure is one account. So those are account planning and your positioning, your organization positioning to that account. Do we have resources? Can we, as in marketing strategy, do you even have those kind of is the industry is in the market, the country that you are in, your market which you are catering to, does that have that kind of potential in the market? If it's a completely developed world and there are no infrastructure works coming up and you start positioning yourself, you will be facing a lot of resistance to establish yourself in those kind of environments. So this is one of the examples that we gave. Then you need to, once the opportunity presents itself, you need to assess yourself. Do we qualify for it? You identified, let's say one of your sales lead or one of your executives had brought some information in, and they are telling that usually the sales people, they will be overexcited at prospect of even a small order, which is quite natural for them, and it's not something bad about it. They need to be excited, they need to be pumped up so that they can turn around an opportunity into a win order. So it's very, very natural for them to be having that. Nobody's complaining about that, but somebody needs to sit down and do the qualification analysis. Do, as an organization, do we qualify that? Can we win this? Okay, because as we said, going forward, resources are lesser, and the organization, if they even want to bid for a project which is way beyond their execution cycle or capabilities in terms of finance, in terms of manpower, in terms of, let's say you're doing software development, do you have those machines as well? So those all things needs to be looked at. How you will be strategically, let's say you win this project, how you will be strategically upskilling your team maybe, okay? And does it, in the other words, it's aligning to the strategic plan and vision of the organization as well. So there are many factors that you need to do the assessment of the opportunity. Then you start capturing the planning. So when it comes to capturing, it's like you understand the customer situation, their hot buttons, the issues, and their biases. Usually a purchase, and I've been discussing this a lot within the industry and outside the industry also. Usually a purchase is more or less an emotional decision. Okay, if it's an emotional decision, one would go to every length to get to win that, to award that order to somebody. Okay, now, and there are 4 C's as far as the opportunity capture planning is concerned. Your customer, you need to understand your customer, you need to understand the competition out there. Is there somebody already out there? We call them the 4 C's. and then you see the cost. What would be the cost to win this project? What would be the cost to deliver the project as well? And of course, the company and the solution about yourself. Is this you assess yourself? You look inside your organization itself. Can we even do it? Okay. So then in the opportunity capture planning, this is one of the graphics which very clearly defines the whole process. You get a pursuit decision, that's one of the input. You build relationship, that is the managing the opportunity process. That is how you manage your process. You build the relationships, you gather and analyze the data, you develop and implement your strategies, and you transition to proposal planning. Now once you have those strategies and you have developed and implemented the strategy to win this opportunity and you have captured those information, your output would be to get a bid no bid, interim bid no bid from your management, one of the decision gates. So that's the whole process here. Then you need to start breaking down your proposal. Now you have made a decision, your organization has made a decision that we are going ahead, and we would be getting all this, we will be bidding for this project, or the solution. You get all your information from your opportunity planning phase, capture all those information and bring it with you yourself, and you start preparing your draft by preparing an executive summary. And you will get one of these questions that usually in your exam, that when should one start drafting an executive summary. So it's proposal planning is when you should start drafting your executive summary. Then you're refining the solution, and you price when you keep once, and there is no go back on this one. Once you have decided, you hold a kickoff meeting, okay, and you take the project from there. And then you engage your right staff to make sure that you are able to deliver and do justice to this proposal, and you refine the solution and price to win. So it's an ongoing process then forth. So once you have planned, you start executing your proposal development. This is no return phase now, and often it has been seen that once your development is happening, people would like to go back to the drawing board. Stakeholders or people who have joined later into the bid process, they will like to go back and try to understand the whole thing. They will try to sabotage, and they will try to get a reassessment of the whole thing. Don't do that. From here onwards, it's all bid. Okay. Then negotiation. Once you have given the bid, then it is all about your submittal activity. Okay. Then delivery and ongoing customer relation. Once you have done that, you will be delivering the product or the services or the solution, and then it's an ongoing process thereafter to get a repeat customer. Now you can tailor the process. Now, as far as the APMP is concerned, APMP Book of Knowledge is concerned, it's not a hard and fast, and it's not it does not say that it's a standard. You have to do this. What it is saying is that these are the best practices, these are the core knowledge areas, and you can, work around it. But by and large, the organization have been working on these principles. So you can change the process as per the organizational size. Maybe if your organization is in a nascent stage, they have just started off with a new division, they will only have 5 or 6 people. They might not want to go for all these elaborate information. Maybe this information is in a video form, maybe this information is in written form, and somewhere or other you need to capture all these things. And as the organization, it should be in a way that as the organization is expanding, people are joining in, the whole process should be scalable, and your learning time or your upskilling time of or orientation time of your new team members should also be managed somehow. That comes in the last section of the the knowledge area, we'll see that. Now you also need to tailor your process as per the global, regional, or single site organization. Some organizations, they just go site by site. They are formed as per site, and then they are what you call because there is a project in some country which did not have this project before. Let's say windmill, and they want to bring an expert from outside. So those organization would be a single site organization, and they will start building their base over there till once the project has been handed over. It's maybe 1 or 2 years. They will run the project and they will move out. Then customer and market conditions. Of course, you need to tailor your process according to that. There have been recent trends that has been affecting a lot. As far as the business is concerned, your growth of small businesses, there have been many small businesses with the advent of computers and the advent of organization Superman. Let me put it that way. What has happened over the time is that there has been one individual in the organization who has gone through all the processes of an organization, and sooner or later they move out of the organization, and they build up their own organization. Perhaps I'm just giving an example. No parallel drawings, no metaphor drawings. So these small businesses, they have the capability to bid bigger projects because they are more agile. The decision making is very quicker. They don't have a chain of command in the organization in chain of command wherein number of people need to approve, and then only certain things can move. So such organization has come into picture, and they have been a big challenge for bigger organizations, especially in the software domain as well. Then the trends have been that one organization has certain capabilities. Let's say they are very good. I will break down this into software industry. Let's say they are very good at building the front ends, but they don't have a back end information with them. So they will team up with another organization which is very good at databases, perhaps, or the customer has a liking for one of the type of databases. So what they will do is they will tie up with that database company, and they will team up and they will bid for a project. And there has been a change in procurement processes. There were times when the procurement was solely done by sending faxes around, sending emails. First it was, in good old days, it was by sending letters, or the sales guy has to generate opportunity by going to the organization. They used to start publishing on the newspaper the tenders and the bids, and then people started galvanizing, and they starting to bid for that. Later on, with the advent of electronics and computer age, emails came in, faxes came in, and now there are full-fledged websites out there for tender floating and collecting the information, collecting or bidding for the tenders as well. So there has been a lot of change in procurement processes as well. So these are the recent trends. There are some common pitfalls and misconceptions. We are completing our business process development lifecycle now. It is thought that there is no need for the business development process. It's completely wrong. You need a business development process. It's a key for every organization's success, and they need to keep updating their business development process every now and then. It's very important to have decision gates. There should be an approval phase at every approval or review phase at every gate, every phase that we saw, and it's important. And it's not. There's another pitfall and misconception that it is not required to engage very early with the customer. No, the early you engage with your customer, the better your prospect to win the project. Of course, you don't need to lose the sight of the customer requirement, and so on and so forth. To summary, you need to scale and tailor your cycle to specific market and competitive position. Define the roles and responsibility within your organization team. It's imperative that you define these roles and responsibilities. Otherwise, people may, or the people who are driving all these processes say, maybe I thought he will do it or she would do it, and there you go, your whole business process that was there has gone for a toss. And of course, the leadership buy-in and the support is very important, because they are, at the end of the day, they are the one who are authorized by the stakeholders and the business shareholders to sign on paychecks, and of course put the organization money into the goal that they have decided. Document all success and failures to learn from experiences. Okay, enhance the customer relationship across the cycle of each phase and as part of each activity. So there will be pitfalls. At times you will face that capture was one of the areas where you failed, or it was not up to the mark as per the customer requirement. Because of that, you lost the project, or you could not bid the project, or you were short, you underbidded the project or overbidded the project in terms of commercial. So those things needs to be keep refining and going forward. So any questions out there? Let me see if we have something on our Facebook. Nothing is there. Then LinkedIn, I have no questions. We're live on LinkedIn, Facebook, and YouTube today, besides being on Zoom. And with that, we will this completes our process phases in business development life cycle. So business development life cycle is complete. We would be doing focus on the customer in our next session. For now, we will do our quiz, and it's the most awaited, and nothing in the quiz is that has not been discussed. We have discussed everything, and most of the information has been shared. There are some case scenarios. When you're sitting for your exam for APMP as well, you will be getting these questions more or less like the same way. Okay, in a couple of minutes, here is your quiz. People on LinkedIn, Facebook, or YouTube, you can open up a browser window and go to joinmyquiz.com. And people on Zoom, you can simply go on to click on the link that I've shared. Okay, I will just give a couple of minutes. So you go to joinmyquiz.com and you key in the code. You will see a number out there. It will say enter join code. So type in there 645549. It will ask you to give a name. It's not important that you give your original name. You can use your pseudonym. Okay, we see people joining in. So it's very simple. Joinmyquiz.com. Key in the code 645549. 645549. Give it two clicks, and we will start the quiz. Okay, we've got our audience, and all the best. think I will conclude my quiz. We have quite an audience today. I will give 3 ticks. In that time, you might want to go ahead and choose your answers again. Tick tick 1, tick tick 2, and tick tick 3. Let's see who is the winner. 2, VVK, BB. Congratulations to you all 3. We'll just go through the answers very quickly. Mrs. Acme, Mrs. Acme are setting up a new branch in New Delhi with no other branch in India. At what stage are they in business development life cycle? They have not done any market research yet. They are in the unknown position. They don't know. They've not done any market research. They just opened up a shop. Somebody was filthy rich, and they just wanted to start a business over there. So the right answer is unknown position. As per APMP BOK, is not important to have a business development life process. That's false. As per, it's the other way around. The correct answer is false. APMP BOK says that you need to have a business development life process. Now the another scenario question, Mrs. Acme, after setting up a new branch in New Delhi, are able to align their organizational core strength and solution to customer needs. They today have more than 90% of their business from same customers. So that's the key here, where it says more than 90% of their business from same customer. So they are already at the favored position. So that's the correct answer. In compliance with APMP BOK, that is Book of Knowledge, the business development process should be by the BOK and cannot be changed. So what it's saying, in other words, is that you should follow on the APMP Book of Knowledge. No, that's not true. It's false is the correct answer. To bid to win, early engagement of the buyer is not required. The correct answer is false. It is required to have an early engagement with the customer. With that, we come to the end of our session today. You have been a very awesome audience, especially the people who have joined from the other media. I believe there have been people who have been joined from LinkedIn, as well as perhaps from there were more people in the quiz today. You have been an awesome audience. Take care of yourself. Up until next week, take good care of yourself. See you next week. Goodbye.